Thank you so much, Sarah. Can you hear me well back there? Very good. So I'm learning how to play ukulele, not how to sing. And I do that for some reasons. First of all, I just think it's a nicer way to welcome you in the room. It's a different vibe. You're like, all right, okay, come on. Maybe it's a cool song. The other one is because I love music. I love giving back to the community like I am right now. And I love agility. So I'm putting my three passions in the same space and time. And it's an icebreaker. Not for you, but for me. Because I get so nervous, whatever comes next, I'm going to be okay. So that's just a way to break the ice. So thanks for being there. My name is Artur. I'm from Brazil. I live in Belgium for the last 8 years. And I created this talk for one main reason. Let's go straight into it. Are you ready to go? You had enough coffee? Ooh, I like the energy. Yeah. Where was this energy to sing together with me? I was singing alone. All right. In the last 10 years, I've been working as a Scrum Master, as an Agile coach. And I've seen some things happening across different industries that I worked with and in. So I feel a little bit blessed that I could see these different industries. Yes, I started in IT in all of them because that's what Agile is for. It's just IT, right? No. In the last 5 years, I worked in everywhere else but IT. Payroll, procurement, HR, portfolio level, requests for feasibility studies. So I was really helping them, improving their own process, bringing some agility and supporting that journey. And I saw those vicious circles happening also there. And I said, I need to create a session to talk about it. Artur, what the heck is vicious circle? Let's take this off the table right away. Vicious circle. It's a sequence of reciprocal cause and effect in which two or more elements intensify and aggravate each other, leading inexorably to the worsening of the situation. And it goes down and down and down. Some people call it negative self-reinforcing loop. Some others call it downward spiral. Others call it feedback loop from hell. Whatever you want to call, I call it vicious circle. It's just shorter, straight to the point. We good with that? Is it a bit clear? I'm going to make it even more clear with one simple example, and you can take that as just like a little bit of a stretch and a warm-up, because we had other 9 to go. First one, abbreviations and acronyms. Wow, the talk is over. Thank you so much. You already got it. Abbreviations and acronyms will appear during meetings, emails, and documents. People are not going to ask because, they want the meeting to flow, or because they're afraid of looking dumb. But then more abbreviations and acronyms will keep on appearing. Now you're dead in the company for more than 2 years. You're going to look so dumb right now. And then more acronyms and abbreviations keep on appearing. Raise your hand if you're seeing this happening in your company somehow. All right, look around. You're not alone. And that's just a warm-up. I'm going to ask you to do that 9 more times. So gather some energy. Maybe you do 5 with this arm, 5 with the other arm. Every time I start with a new team, I ask them, what is the meaning of your name? Why do you even exist? I ask some questions that are a bit more fundamental than you take for granted. And I had this team once that, let's give a hypothetical name, XPT data. I don't want to give the real name, not to give the guys away. I asked them, and I got 3 different answers. I'm like, all right, okay, abbreviations are there. And I have a theory that every company has at least one abbreviation or acronym that nobody knows what the heck is that. It was created 20 years ago, people left, and we just keep repeating, and nobody wants to ask what is that about. Welcome. This slide is too cute. White, blue, green. Oh, you look at the vicious circle like, oh, it's just a vicious circle. I want you to feel the pain of these vicious circles. Hey, I want you to feel the energy and how heavy they are so you can break them up. So here, dark mode. You were distracted, you're on your mobile, doing something. It's the last time I'm going to come back on my slide. 3, 2, 1. A little bit heavier. Now you're going to start tackling those. But because I'm a nice guy, don't worry. Find a place. There are plenty. But because I'm a nice guy, and I don't want you to be with this energy every time, I'm going to give you a nice landscape image with some considerations on how to break that specific vicious circle. Things that worked for me, that I tried in practice, might work for you as well. First thing to consider, just raise your hand and ask yourself, what does it mean? Even if you know it. Because some people just joined the team. They are introverts. They are afraid of asking. So just ask it so you help people in the room, right? The other one, this is an awareness of psychological safety. We have here our dear Gita that speaks a lot before people are even talking. She was already talking about it many years ago. And this is an indication of a lack of psychological safety in your room. What does it mean? If you don't hear sentences like, I messed up, I'm sorry, can you help me here? You are better than me on this. Could you work on this? Like, what does it mean? If you don't hear those sentences, most likely that psychological safety is not really strong in your team. What does it mean, psychological safety? People can speak up without the fear of being judged. And they can simply ask, what does it mean? So that's already maybe something to do, is bringing this awareness into your team. The other one, just don't use it yourself. Be clear, not clever. Artur, I'm addicted with abbreviations and acronyms. All right, I get that. It's 3 days that I'm without using abbreviations and acronyms. You really want to do that, use it, open parentheses, explain what it means, and then you can go on with your abbreviation. But at least you gave the chance for people to understand what it means. And the other one, create a glossary. Simple one. Something I do with my teams, I start picking up all these abbreviations and acronyms. I make one file that is simple. It's not a whole 10,000 pages of document. It's just very simple. And very often I got people looking at it, it's like, oh, so that's what it means. And they're there for 5 years already. Got an idea how this talk is going to go? Vicious circle. You're going to feel the pain, even like some memories, and then we clean it with some considerations and nice landscape. Second one, Scrum Master superhero. All right, you get it. You already know. Scrum Master superhero solves the impediment by him or herself. So nobody participated on that solution. So nobody knows how to solve that. Whenever that problem happens again, who will people be looking at? Dear Scrum Master, can you solve that for us? Sure. Da, 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 bah. I'm guilty of that myself because it comes from a good place. We want people to keep on working. We don't want them to be interrupted. So whenever you go there, it's like, yeah, I want them to keep on working, you solve it. But let's be clear. There is 1% of ego. There's a bit of ego. Talking from my experience, because it feels so good. You solve the impediment. And you come back to the room and say, everybody, now QA environment is up, you can start testing again. Yeah, yeah, and everybody's like, successful rocket launch. Yeah, you're like, yes, next time. That might not be the best approach because you are creating bottlenecks. You are becoming a bottleneck. Whenever you go on holiday, nobody knows how to solve that issue. And there's a variation here. Team member. You know that expert, you know that part of the application, if you have a software as a product, is like, yeah, don't touch that part. That is Mike's stuff. Oh, the finance part, that's Mary. That nobody knows how to do that. All right, pretty good. You have specialists, but when that person goes on holiday, exit, promoted, win in the lottery, run over by a truck, hopefully not, then we got a trouble. The whole thing stops, or we gotta get all that knowledge again. And the other one is the boss. The boss, it's even skipping a step. There is the step of looking at, it doesn't exist. It's like, I'm gonna do it because they don't know how to do it. So I do it myself, they don't learn how to do it, and you know I'm gonna do it because they don't know how to do it. And I do it myself, they don't learn how to do it, and it's a vicious circle. Raise your hand if you've seen this happening in any of these variations. Yeah. So take a look around, just for once. Yeah. You see that you're not alone? Can clear the tear. All right. Nice landscape, lake, flowers. First thing you can consider, and that I'm going to be repeating a few times here in this session. Find the root causes. Why the heck this is happening? Maybe it's because, yeah, the boss just don't understand that it's really not efficient to solve that by themselves. Or the Scrum Master is thinking that, yeah, that's better for them if I do it because they are not interrupted. Or the team member expert is like, yeah, if I do that, I know I can help them because if John would do that, it would take much longer. What are the root causes? Why this is happening? Sometimes it's just because there is delegation. It's always like, hey, Mike, you're always going to do that, okay? There's another issue. Hey, Mike, what is your name? Phil. You're not Mark anymore. Hey, Phil, you're going to do that again, okay? So there is, what are the root causes? Very often we are just putting a Band-Aid on the wound. We are not disinfecting. We don't know what is even causing that wound. Titanic sunk for more than 100 reasons. If you ask around, people are like, because the guy was distracted. No. The guy was distracted, yes. but they were much faster in an area that they knew that there were icebergs. The hull was not strong enough to absorb the impact. The compartments didn't close fast enough to keep the water from moving across the ship, etc., etc., etc. So when you say like, oh, this is happening, so that's probably the cause, very often you're just scratching the top of the iceberg. So here's some techniques that you can use, the 5 whys. It's a classic one. Define the problem. What is the problem that you're trying to solve? Ask why this is happening. It's because of A. But what is causing A? It's B. What is causing B? It's C. Most likely on the 3rd why, you're already finding pretty much what is the root cause. And that's where you tackle. Want to go for PDCA, a more continuous improvement mindset. You experiment, you try something, get feedback from that. That's fine. Want to go more robust, big stuff, Ishikawa or Fishbone, the A3 problem solving, that's robust, it's like systemic problems that you need like a bazooka to find the root cause. But you can also create a skills matrix. This is a screenshot of a real skill matrix that I did recently. Here, each role is like a hard skill. Analysis, Lambda, Node.js, React, database, etc. And here is part of the application. Finance, in this case, is an ERP, time tracking, spreadsheet, etc., etc. Here you have in the columns, you have the team members, and they do a self-assessment where they think they are today from 1 to 5. 1 being like, I have no idea what that means. 5, you are the expert and you can teach others about that. And it's a light self-assessment. We have some discussions about it. But if you take a look at it, it's where you think you are today and where do you want to go, the future. Because you are also triggering the discussions about career path. Who wants to grow in what area? And if you see here, that's the average per role. If the average is super low, like you can see here, it's most likely you have an expert or a champion there. Equal bottleneck. So here, this one, it's like 2.5, 1.5. And what do I do as a facilitator? I ask them where they would like to improve next. What do they think that's more important for the team? Of course, I can bring some arguments, I can bring some other point of view, but they decide what they want to improve and how they're going to improve it. So they came up with this action plan. We're going to do a coding dojo, etc., etc., etc. Here, we're going to schedule a meeting to make sure that Mike is doing that, and we shadow and we can see what is happening. But they own it. It's not the Agile coach or the Scrum Master saying that's the best solution for you, go for it. Creating a wiki. Just make sure that you create a simple wiki. The impediment happened. Why the QA environment broke? When? Who was involved? Keep it simple, 1-pager, how it was solved, so you have a kind of knowledge database. All right, just maybe the last one. Try not to be the Scrum Master or the team member or the boss superhero yourself. I think that's already a great start. Good to go? Let's go to the 3rd one. Woo-hoo. Task board and meetings. The task board is a mess. It's not outdated. It's completely outdated. It's messy. People don't keep updating it. Maybe just Mark is doing that because it's a mess anyway. Now this board, it's not used in the meetings. Or every event you have is just not used because it's a mess anyway. It's not even worthwhile. But now the board doesn't have the update of the last meetings, and the meetings are less valuable because very often we are just talking without any visual. One of the principles is, one of the best ways to convey information and receive, it's face-to-face. Every time I present that principle, I say, with a flip chart. Because that's the best one. When you're talking and then you have a visual to say like, oh, that's what I mean. Oh, then you see the dots connect. But because it's a messy, it's not used, it's outdated, it's just not very good visual to use. There is a sentence that says, you cannot have a clean water out of a dirty pipe. Let that sink in. All right, now maybe nice snow if you like some ski. Consider, one of the first things that you can consider, I gave a little spoil if you were paying attention. One of the first things that you can consider, root causes, trying to understand why. Maybe it's too complex, this board. They don't understand how. Some people don't even have maybe the access to that board if it's remote, if it's a tech. It's just like so many columns. It's too heavy process. What are the reasons why people are not using that? Get to know that first. Keep it simple to use. Make it easy. The work is one thing. Visualizing is another one that I think is extremely important, but don't make it too heavy. The other one, agree on the constraints. When are we going to update it? How? Color coding. Who is going to create what? In which way? How we delegate? How we tag people? Make sure that it's agreed with the team. The other one, experiment, create a new column, create a new process, whatever you're going to do, experiment. It's not carved in stone. It's not like, hey, everybody, that's the new board. See you in 2027, and there's no change by then. Ow. It's their board, not yours. Message to all leaders and Scrum Masters and Agile coaches out there. I did a new training about visualization, and I was inspired. I'm like, I'm going to bring it to the team. They're going to love it. And it was before the pandemic, so I stayed until midnight creating a beautiful board. I was proud. I'm like, wow, it's amazing. It's a beautiful board. They're going to love it. The next day, they enter the room and like, that's the new board. Everybody's like, all right. I was just melting. Said, but that's a new board. Yeah, all right. No, that's a new board. It's so cool. Yeah, you're right. After I pick up myself from the floor, I started asking them. They're like, yeah, but that's not the color we use. That's not the column doesn't make sense. And that card's like too small. And these ones, lessons learned. Co-create with them. If you want to bring your stuff, bring someone from the team and make it together with them. It's their board, not yours. Moving forward, number 4. High team turnover. Let's hire 2 more analysts because it's more efficient. We need that. But you need some onboarding. They need to know the processes. They need to know how you work, the events, all the technology and access. Somebody from the team is going to be spending and investing time to onboard those people, which is expected. Productivity is going to go down. But somebody is going to say they're not going fast enough. Let's hire 2 more testers. And somebody else is going to quit the team. And somebody else, let's hire another one. Have you seen this happening somewhere? Yeah, right. I was working in a team once with 25 people. Every week I would say buy or hire to someone different. Because they have 3 different managers. And they were not talking together. They were hiring because they want to go faster on that one. And the other one was specialized on the testing, so just hire a specialist on DevOps. And then all of a sudden the team was inflating and reducing. That can be very hard to get anything done or at least start performing. So maybe somewhere on the Amalfi Coast in Italy to relax a bit. One of the first things you can consider. One of the root causes, ding, ding, ding. As I said, maybe different bosses. Maybe they don't know the impact of that, of just hiring and firing and changing people all the time. That's why one of the things that is very important to do is creating this team engagement survey. Some people just say like, or NPS, which by the way, you see my parenthesis, Net Promote Score. Explaining the abbreviation is just a way to know from the team, just a score from, instead of the product, you can score the product, right? Like from 1 to 10 or 0 to 10, how likely are you to recommend this product for someone else, for a friend or colleague? You can do the same about the team. From 0 to 10, how likely are you to recommend to work in this team? And then you get this data, and you know why they voted what they voted. Yeah, because I can never talk in the team. Because I'm told what to do. I don't know which direction we are going to. What are the reasons why people are not feeling engaged on the team? So that's very important to know. Visualize the impact. Many times we're talking to bosses and leaders and we're saying, yeah, the turnover is too high. They're like, oh, right. Try to visualize a little bit. Like, look, some people will only get sometimes with a visual to support. All right, team performance, team effectiveness, they're forming. We're putting people together. They don't even know their names, their roles. So, all right, people are getting to know each other. They storm because you were using your mobile very loud next to us and we distracted, or you were late. So they start storming. But then they say, okay, let's create some norms here as a team. And as soon as they create some norms, they start performing. That's the Tuckman cycle or flow, if you will. But every time you hire or fire someone from that team, most likely from performing, norming, they are going to come back down there because there's somebody new that has to get everything. So it's very painful every time you have this switching on the team. Other thing, skills matrix. As I already showed in the second one, the Scrum Master Superhero, just try to have a skill matrix. Really helps you to understand the knowledge that you have in the team and what is needed to keep on improving and removing the bottleneck and who can help who. Forget about the 1 month handover. Doesn't exist. Jane is working there for 5 years. Now she's gonna go out for whatever reason. Hey Jane, can you just give us all this 5 years experience in 1 month? Oh, of course. And it's not even full-time. Poor Jane, she has to like teach people, team members or new team members, half an hour here, 1 hour there, 2 hours, it's impossible. One thing that is guaranteed with this 1 month handover is that you're going to lose at least 50% of your knowledge as a team, as an organization. And that's quite costly. Forget about that, keep on sharing knowledge constantly. Good to go. Keep on moving, huh? Don't stop. It's like, woo, let's go. Number 5, technical debt. All the technical folks out there is already like, don't talk about that. I want you to feel the pain, so you can tackle it. Technical debt is created. This is a normal, natural part of developing a software or a product. You can never build it perfectly from the first time, so it's normal. But if you don't tackle it, complexity will increase. Spaghetti code. You know, that thing that is like, I don't even know how to touch that thing, otherwise it's gonna crash everything. House of Cards, Jenga. And because it's that complexity, it's super hard to refactor. Every time you go there, it's like, oh, it's okay, it's just gonna be a week and that's done. 3 months later, you're like, it's just 1 more week. Sound resonant? Okay, cool. And because it's hard to refactor, to add, to change anything, it's super hard to forecast. And we have stakeholders, we have sponsors, we have users, and we gotta give any number based on experience. And one thing is for sure, we can be better at forecasting. Maybe at the beginning we are terrible, but the more we learn how to forecast and to estimate, the better we can be. But when it's this massive spaghetti code, it's super hard to refactor, super hard to forecast. Somebody is gonna say, let's move faster, because I want my feature there in this next release. It's okay if the quality is there. You can just put aside this technical debt. Rug, technical debt. But now, this is not, is it visible to the user? No, but it's taking us a long time. Doesn't matter. Then technical debt is created. And now it's not only created, but the last one is not tackled, and it's a bump. It's a lot of technical debt. Raise your hand if you see this happening anywhere. All right, we have both hands. Some guy was like, yes, amen, amen. All right, the legs. All right, let's clean it up a little bit. Frozen lake, I don't know, I'm a lot of snow and ice, these slides, I don't know. One of the first things you can consider, why this is happening? Is it really the boss pushing it? Is it really the stakeholder? Or maybe sometimes the developers. They believe that is the fastest way. We deal with that later. There's no awareness of how costly that is. Why this is happening? Visualize it. Just have this conversation with a visualization on the cost for not tackling the technical debt. If you type technical debt, cost, or damage, or impact, or chart on Google, you're gonna have like hundreds of this. For instance, this one, yeah, that's the optimal cost of change, because it's gonna be increasing as we build our product. But it can increase way much if you don't tackle the technical debt. And the predictability of results can really go down. So try to visualize, try to have this conversation with a visual, like how much, and you can bring numbers on top of that as well. Dedicate X% of your sprint, of your time frame, whatever is your way of working, to refactoring. Every day, half an hour. Is it every Friday, 2 hours? I don't know, whatever works for you. Try to have this dedication of refactoring after you prove the team and the leadership how important that is. Creating coding conventions. A good code, if you have software, should be so lean and so clear and so pretty that you don't even need comments to explain what is the function about. I can talk about it because I was a Java developer. Huh? I'm not, I don't know what is technical. No, that's the part that I'm like, I was there. I know that this can be pretty painful. And even the comment is complicated. The comment is a paragraph to explain a simple functionality. Create coding conventions. Create automation of tests. If you have to test manually every time something that you build, let's take an example here. That's feature, wow, when I look down, my voice is louder. We develop feature A, and we test as a team. We good? We happy? Feature B, let's go there. We deliver, okay, no, not deliver, but we develop, we test. Let's go to do you think that feature A is still good? I don't know, let's test again. And integration, and then test, and manual test, because there's no automation, right? And then you are testing everything at the same time. It's like, okay, everybody, we good? Let's go to feature C. Yep, we good. That is working, huh? We good. Feature C. and then we develop, and then we test. Let's go to feature. All right, let's test that again, because maybe that broke. Have you seen that happening? It's a lot of effort. The machines are there to kind of help with this. A lot of test automation, a lot of softwares, a lot of applications that can help you with that. My first mentor told me once, Artur, if you are testing manually, the machine that could be doing that for you, late in the night, drinking oil with the other machines are going to be laughing at you. Oh, that human is doing my job. I'm just chilling. I know that we are in an age that we can be careful with what... Is it being recorded? Can we skip that part? Just in case? Anyway, let's move forward. And just the last thing, what is the Scout rule?
Leave it as it is, as it was.
Leave it as it was, a bit different.
Leave your campsite tidier than you found it.
Wow, that's a good voice, huh? Round of applause, that was good. You felt like clapping, go for it. Leave the code better than how you found it. Every time you go, change something, make it better. Let's move forward, we have more to go. Conflict resolution depth. That is a term that I'm coining, I'm gonna make it famous at some point. In 10 years, we're gonna be like, oh, Artur told about that. Because you have, well, I'm gonna make it famous at some point. I don't know, I'm trying. You have the technical depth, but you also have the conflict resolution depth. What does it mean? A conflict happens in the team. Nobody tackles that. Because you don't know how, you are too busy, you are afraid of the person not liking your feedback, so you don't have even the tools to do that. But now, because Mark was a jackass with you, and he needs your help, you're like, yeah, maybe later. Now you are a little bit jackass with him, and then it's building up, and then impacted someone else, and now someone else is also upset at you, and you can see the rug instead of technical depth. Welcome, sir. Make yourself comfortable. Here's the rug. He's like, what? This guy's crazy. Lifting an imaginary hug. So instead of technical depth, it's conflict. We are just putting under the carpet. And it's going to be such a big lump that somebody's going to step on it. It's going to be dust everywhere. And that's where people say things that they shouldn't. Chairs are being thrown. People quit. And that's the conflict resolution depth. Because, yeah, you have less energy to build on that. Because that's too much. So many conflicts at the same time. But they will keep on appearing. That's a surprise, huh? Spoil. The conflicts will keep on appearing. Raise your hand if you've seen that somewhere, somehow. Somebody even didn't even raise their hands, just like, yeah, even the energy to go. All right. You get your beer if you find the root causes. Why is it happening? Is it really because they don't have the tools? They are too busy. What is the feedback culture in this team? Why this is happening? Is it because it's remote? They didn't even see each other, so it's just like a name in the screen in the meetings. Why this is happening? Start introducing slowly all the techniques that are out there. You have like the radical candor. You have the responsibility process. You have the nonviolent communication. You have this SBI that's one of my favorite. Lisa Atkins call it impact feedback. You don't talk about, let's give one example of how not, how long do I have just to know? Because 15?
15 minutes, yeah.
So, you talk about, I can do all of that I was going to do later after a coffee, but you talk about the situation, how it impacted you, and how you felt about that. You don't tell the person why the person did it. There's no assumption on why, and you don't tell the person how to solve that. You tell about, that's the fact, that's how it impacted me. And you start the conversation that way. And start small. I was once in a team, first retrospective I was participating, the Scrum Master was facilitating. I entered the room, there was a big circle of chairs with one chair in the middle. The person closes the door and is like, hey everybody, welcome to the retrospective. Jane sits in the middle. Now everybody tells Jane what you liked about her and what you don't like about her. And I was like, time out. Time out, everybody. Let's have time for a coffee. I just need to exchange something here. I forgot. Start small. That's not a feedback session. That's a execution session. Don't go there. And yeah, update the team agreements every time. Create and update these team agreements. What do we want as a behavior? What do we want as a collaboration? What we don't want. Number 7. No whip limit. What does WIP mean? Again, a round of applause for the same lady with the nice voice. No work in progress limit. Even if you know, I ask, we just agreed on the first vicious circle that you would ask. Come on. Work is pushed down onto the team because you know it's high priority, I want my stuff there. Now the team is juggling with 50 different things at the same time. But you know, there is a lot of context switching, and context switching equals loss. And now because you are wasting all this time and effort, somebody's gonna say they're not going fast enough, let's go faster, I want my feature there. But now they have more stuff onto the team. I was working once with the team that had 253 items in the same sprint, and they were not as big as this group. There were 10 people working on 253 items on the same sprint. Raise your hand if you've seen all this no limitation of work in progress. Too many things at the same time. It's wild, it's bugs, new feature, maintenance, and then you do that, and then I don't remember what I ate for lunch last Wednesday. So imagine all these things at the same time. Probably a nice beach on Comporta in Portugal. One of the first things you can consider. What are the root causes? Why is this even happening? Is really leadership pushing down? The team doesn't understand the impact of having so many things? Make it clear, make it visual. You have a task, you get it done here. Call task, feature, epic, user story, whatever you want to call. You finish here, you get feedback, you get input, you are delivering value, you maybe are getting even value back, and then go B and go C. That's a pretty good scenario, but sometimes it's like you do a bit of A, a bit of B, a bit of C, a bit of A, a bit of B, a bit of C, a bit of A, a bit of B, a bit of C. And you finish A here. It's more than double of the time to finish that thing. Plus all the context switching in between equals waste. Align with the product owner, leadership, stakeholders, that limiting the work in progress, although might feel counterintuitive, that's the best way to deliver things faster, more focus, sharing knowledge, and keeping the focus. New thing for you to print big on your wall, digital or physical. Finish more, start less. An alternative, stop starting, start finishing. Forward. I saw someone taking a picture. It's okay, I come back. I said I wouldn't come back in this talk. I come back. So you can take a picture. Right. And 3, and 2, and 1. Number 8, no time for improvement. You know, Artur, this new Agile thing that we're going to talk about. It's 2 days training, I know. Can you do it in 1 hour? Yeah, of course, let's do that. And I did already. All right, let's do that. But a lot of unnecessary frictions are going to happen because of that, because you are not aligned. You didn't take the time enough to talk about the why, to really go deep on why, what problems are you trying to solve here, who is going to do what, and because of that, we're going to have many other meetings trying to solve those issues. So instead of 2 days with everybody, very costly session, we're going to have many other 1 hour sessions trying to fix all this stuff plus friction. It's going to be way more expensive. So people are now way busier, meetings everywhere, and every new initiative is like, can you do that in half an hour? I mean, I know that we're going to talk about lean startup here and introduce, can you do like in 15 minutes? Let's take that next daily stand-up for that. Raise your hand if you're seeing no time for improvement. Let's keep going. All right. Hiking, one of the first things to consider is root causes. By the end of the session, everybody's in unison. It's like, root causes. People in the other rooms like, what's happening? Let's understand why. Again and again. What problems are? Fall in love with the problem, not with the solution. That's what we want. Try to understand why this is happening and not just fall in love with the solution. Visualize. All right, silly drawing I've done, classical drawing. I don't have time. Yeah. Some people will only get with silly cartoons or silly drawings. Or a little bit more mathematical. You do the same all the time. That's what you get. Here is the speed of improvement and innovation. Here the value and the impacts and returns. Doing the same, flat line. Occasionally improving. Yeah. Continuous improvement. Continuous improvement with innovation. 2, 2, 2, 2. Yeah, sometimes it can go down because it takes time to invest and get something going on, but sometimes people will only understand by visualization. Get the leadership support to have dedicated time. Every sprint, every X amount of time, we are going to implement something new. We're going to try a new experiment. We're going to get this new thing in our team that is going to maybe take 1 hour to implement, but it's going to save us many hours along the way. Try small. Don't go crazy. Like, yeah, we're going to need 3 months to implement this new thing. I mean, maybe it's what you need, but sometimes you can just like, look at this. We invested this amount of hours. We're saving a lot of hours afterwards by just having this automation. Have some cases to prove the point. Don't let the risk of bankruptcy being the reason why you innovate. And that's what happens with a lot of big companies. We're big all the time, a lot of money. There's, well, those small fintechs taking part of our cake. Now, Artur, what is the Agile thing stuff that you said 5 years ago? That might be too late. So don't let the risk of bankruptcy be the only reason why you innovate or improve. Number 9, toxic behaviors. Yeah, it's going naughtier, no? We started with abbreviation. No, it's just abbreviation. It's getting naughtier and naughtier. Company doesn't deal with toxic behavior because, she gets things done. Because, Mark is delivering. I know he's a bit of a jackass, but, numbers are there at the end of the month. But because of that, people that are also delivering but great to work with, they're nice to collaborate, they share knowledge, they're on time, they're respectful, they're pretty fun to work with, they are going to start leaving because they can't deal with these toxic behaviors. Now, the only ones left in the company are the ones with the toxic behaviors. So they get leadership roles. What they're going to do? Hire people that think alike. Now, the company is not dealing with toxic behaviors. Not only people are quitting, not only people are quitting, but you are not attracting new talents. Word of mouth. Have you seen that? Like, yeah, that company is quite toxic. It's pretty hard. Oh, you're going to that thing? Yeah, now you're not even attracting new talents. Raise your hand for maybe you have 2 more to go. Raise your hand if you're seeing that happening in other companies, somewhere else. Like in other lives, parallel universe. Sometimes your boss is next to you like, are you going to raise your hand? Are you going to raise your hand? I was just taking care of my hair. All right. First thing to consider. Nope. Separate the behavior from the person. I strongly believe that 99% of people don't wake up in the morning to say, like, I'm going to mess up Artur's life today. He's going to cry like a baby. Woo! I strongly believe. So try to understand what is triggering those behaviors and listen to understand. Not listen like, tell me why you're a jackass. Yeah, tell me why. Well, tell me people don't like you. It's already raised shield. That's not maybe a good start of a conversation. Try to understand what is happening. And then you find the root causes. Because those are insights for you finding the root causes. By experience, those are some of the reasons why those behaviors are being triggered. First one, personal issues. Let's be clear, we cannot hang our lives as a jacket and then enter the company. Yeah, forget all these problems. There are many personal issues that we don't even know about. Even if the person said, I had a rough night, it's just the top of the iceberg. Probably it was rough, crazy night. So people are having things that we don't even know about. The other one, Agile, DevOps, whatever transformation is not clear. Why the heck are we doing that? You receive the training and your boss is pushing you to go and let's go, and you're like, yeah, but why? How long do I have? That's the last time I'm going to ask you? Or somebody else?
We've got about 6 minutes, so maybe a couple of minutes and then some time for questions.
I invite you to cross your arms. That's just the only thing I invite you to do right now. Just cross your arms. If you don't want to do, it's fine. If you want to feel the exercise, you just cross your arms. Now cross your arms the other way around. How did it feel the second time? Weird? Sometimes one person is like, that's pretty good. The point is, you're crossing your arms the same way for years and years, since you know yourself as a human. Now, there is a guy here in front of you asking to change the other way around. I need to have very good reasons why you need to change your arms the other way around. And the same for work. People are working on the same ways for years. And we are asking them to change the ways of working. We really be good on why are we changing the ways of working. What problems are we trying to solve here? What is the benefit for you? What is the benefit for the whole company? So we've got to be very clear with the reasons why. And one of the other reasons that I see, HR not involved. We ask people to change the behaviors, but the way they get the bonuses, or the punishment, or promotion, is still the old ways, individual KPIs. But this fluffy Agile stuff is asking me to collaborate and share knowledge and waste time, but then I have to put the bread on the table. I want my career path. I mean, I love John, I love Mary, I love everybody in the team, but I love my daughter more. And money is still an extrinsic motivation for us to keep going somehow. So you cannot ask people to change the ways of working, but the ways they get bonuses and money is still the same. HR should be involved. Adjusting team agreements, what are the big no-goes? Have hard conversations. Sometimes you try all above, strike one, strike two. My friend is like, wow, that's the last warning. You have to have hard conversations that are not easy to have. Move somebody on another team, make the reason clear, why. Don't go and say like, okay, I'm gonna tell this very quickly. This person was having many toxic behaviors. We tried everything, and the whole team went to the leadership and said, it's us or this person. So they moved this person to another team. I met this person many months later. How is it going? How's life? You know, the second team is just like the other one. They don't get me, they don't let me talk, and they don't understand my agile way of working. I'm like, all right. What is the reason that the leadership told you they moved you? Because my skills could be better utilized on the second team. Don't do that. First, you are crushing another team. Secondly, you are not being fair with this person. You are not giving this person an opportunity to improve. That's not okay. Now the last one, fake agile. I left the better for last, the best for later, for less, the later, let's the number 10. A request and idea is raised, right? Then the team is going to talk directly to the users, to the consumers, to understand what are their needs and build together a backlog and understanding their pain points. Start delivering this prioritized and focused backlog, delivering one thing at a time, getting feedback as much as possible, adjusting this backlog as they go, understanding without man in the middle, making sure that they're working together, sharing knowledge. Artur, if that's fake agile, I don't know what we're doing in my company. That's a quite good agile. Let's rewind a bit. That's quite good. Collaborating, straight to the source, no man in the middle, etc., etc. So let's rewind. Rev, it's rev, it's rev, it's rev, rev. Are you ready? Buckle up. That's the last thing. It's going to go wild. Put your seatbelts. Be ready, because this is going to go crazy. A new request and idea is raised. Now, you have many gates, signing committees, handovers, signatures, and a group of people working in the room separately because developers must be developing. That's a more efficient way. So we keep working, refining this feature, epic, user stories, whatever you want to call it. Now, this is called demand, which is business side, okay? There is invisible wall, and then you have what is called IT, but it's also the supply. It's the same company, same pocket, same users, but we could demand and supply, okay? Now, we throw this thing over the wall and say, hey, IT, can you be agile and deliver in 2 weeks? And the PO, sometimes even the business analyst is like, yeah, of course, I'm going to do that. And the PO goes like, hey, team, there is this bunch of stuff that they need. Are we really going to do that? Yeah, okay, let's start to explain. The team starts working on that. It's like, yeah, we're going to work on that. And they keep on going, but of course it's not clear because it's just handover. So what do they have to do? They have to come back to the PO 57 times asking questions. What do you do that? And then we are delivering new stuff. And then they deliver something new. And then as soon as something new is delivered, they go to the end. And it's not really what the user needs. Here comes the rollback finger pointing. We are going to lose our jobs? No, but that was the PO. And the PO is like, what? No, it was not me. That group of people that was working together there. And then the group of people that was working together alone, no, it was not me. And then at some point you go and you are pointing back to the consumer. But the consumer changed his mind. Or the consumer was not clear a year ago. Yeah, that is a lot of friction, unnecessary rollback. One of the naughties. And what do you have to do to fix that? Raise another request to fix all this. Raise your hand for the last time if you've seen that. All right. All right, we are finishing, we're ending here. Let's try to clean that energy. Consider. Now you are hesitating, no? Yeah, the root cause. Try to understand, is it a systemic approach? Is it just because it's badly implemented, someone is pushing for that? Remember, not local optimization, but system optimization. Try to understand the whole system instead of just parts of it. Involve HR, leadership, stakeholders. They also got to understand what is expected from them and what they can expect from the team. They also got to be coached and trained. It's not just IT stuff. Everybody should be involved. It's a flow, end to end. Now, pocket pain, translate it into pocket pain. Some people will only understand when it's hurting in their pockets. People are quitting, they're unhappy, we are delivering too slow. Yeah, you're right. Look, you are losing 100,000 euros per month with this approach, and here's why. Cancel the meeting with Barack Obama. I got something to tell me more. It's another expression that I want to make famous. Pocket pain. When it hurts in the pocket, some people will only work if that's hurting. Value stream mapping, visualize from the moment that there is a request to the moment it's delivered. What are the steps? Just ask them to visualize. Sometimes they're going to be like, ouch, this is a real picture I took, all these steps. Only on business. Here they would hand over to IT to continue other months. Other thing, user story mapping, extremely powerful, game changer. All the people in the room, stakeholders, users, developers, testers, analysts, put them in the room. Everybody has a piece of the puzzle. Visualize the customer journey, prioritize these building blocks, have these insights because you have all these pieces of the puzzles before start developing. Noses are pointed to the same direction instead of trying to align as we go. We need to keep on aligning, of course, but we can be more aligned at the beginning. And create successful cases. Make it a pull system. The best way I work, and now I'm finishing here, the best way I work is when it's a pull system. Artur, can you come here? Can you talk about this thing that you've done with team A here? That's the best way. Instead of like, hey, everybody, your boss sent me here to change your ways of working. Try to create successful cases that pulls and attracts people. Now, just for you to see and remember all these painful vicious circles again in one pager. And mobiles there, 3 and 2 and 1. Why I created this session? First, to bring this awareness to you, because you might be involved in some of these vicious circles and not even knowing. Secondly, they are not separated. They are reinforcing each other. The toxic behaviors might be increasing the team turnover. Because of the technical debt, we are actually making sure that because of this one, this is reinforced. It's naughtier than you think. So take those circles, they're going to share the slides, there is somebody in the trigger ready to take the slides, or pictures, bring it back to your company, discuss it with them, say, hey, have you seen this happening somewhere? There was this crazy guy talking in a session there, but let's talk about what are the ones we have here. Prioritize them and start tackling them one by one. Now, because I said I'm a nice guy, enjoy a positive self-reinforcing loop. You have a great time and you learn something new in this conference. Now you're going to meet great people in this conference that are going to recommend you to new endeavors, new conferences, and new meetups, where you're going to meet other great new people and have other great time, and so on and so on. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of the conference.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.